Salesforce is the most used CRM in the world, and many consider it to be the best. The problem is, it's too complex of a CRM and expensive for most small businesses to use. That's why I decided to lean on my experience as a certified Salesforce consultant and build a CRM with Notion that business owners can use until it makes sense to invest more money and time into a more comprehensive CRM. In this video, I'm going to talk about how the CRM takes a lot of inspiration from the data model of Salesforce. I'm going to briefly walk you through how the CRM works, and then finally share how you can get this template without having to spend hours building it like I did. Let's first talk about the different databases that we have in this Notion template, which in Salesforce are called objects. So first off, we have contacts, which just like in Salesforce, this contacts database is used to store contact information such as email, phone number, first and last name, and then each contact is tied to an account. An account represents a business. So in the accounts database, you can store the company size, the website, the LinkedIn of that company, and any other information that's relevant for your business to store about other companies. Then opportunities is used to track the sales cycle and the amount of revenue that your business is bringing in. Then just like in Salesforce, we have both products and opportunity products. Products acts as your type of price book where you set prices and enter whether or not a product is currently active. You can also see in products the amount of revenue that has been brought in by certain products or services. And then opportunity products is that middleman between opportunities and products to relate your products to opportunities. I know that sounds a little confusing right now, but as we walk through this template together, you'll see why that's necessary. Then you have tasks, and tasks can be related to your contacts, accounts, and opportunities. And this just makes sure that you and your team are doing what's necessary to make the most money as possible for your business. And then notes can be used for whenever you're on calls with clients and you want to store particular note information, or perhaps you want to log how certain interactions might have gone. And when you store notes that are tied to your different databases here, all of your other team members will be able to see those and have a better understanding of that account in your business's history with them. Then finally, I have created documentation to talk through what each of these different databases represent. And then I've also created some YouTube videos that are going to be helpful for you to be able to get the most out of this template. I think the best way to show how this CRM is going to be beneficial for your business is to walk through an example. And since Meta has really been in the news recently, let's go through a fake scenario where we're adding them into our CRM and we're ultimately going to sell them a product. So let's go over here to the quick add and let's press accounts. Then we're going to create a new account and we're going to name it Meta. Because I've created this, I've automatically been assigned the owner, but you could also assign other people ownership of accounts. For a relationship, we're going to enter them in as a prospect because we're working to get them to be a customer and they're currently going through our sales process. So select prospect, company size. I'm sure they're pretty big. I don't know off the top of my head. I'm just going to do 50,000. Website, we're going to put in www.meta.com. And then obviously you'd go through entering all this other information. I'm not going to bore you with that, except the only one I really want to show you is lead source. You can enter different lead sources. I've added some in here, but every business is different and you could add your own simply by typing here in this box. We could add a trade show in here, but let's say we actually got them from a social media campaign. And now that we've created this account, which can also be considered a company, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new related contact. So select create new related contact, continue, and then let's give this a name. In this scenario, we're working with Mark Zuckerberg, fill out all of his information. And now that I've filled out Mark Zuckerberg's information, you can see a few things here have already been related. So you can see that Mark Zuckerberg here is related to the Meta account, and automatically we're pulling in that account lead source as social media. And then we can also see that Meta is still a prospect. If you scroll down a bit, you can see that I've created these database views where you can see related accounts, related opportunities, related tasks, and related notes super easily. So here, if you wanted to just check out Mark Zuckerberg's account information without clicking into the Meta account, you can simply scroll left or right and see which information you need to see. Now that we've created Mark Zuckerberg and his contact, let's go back to the account and let's create a new related opportunity, which is going to be used to track our deal with Meta. So I'm going to click the button, continue. And so it's easier for me to be able to track our opportunities. I've added in a opportunity naming convention where I go account name, the type, and then the year. You obviously can enter in here whatever your business desires. I'm going to enter Meta new, and it's new because this type field is used to distinguish between whether it's an entirely new customer or if it's a repeat buy. So you can see how often your customers are coming back and buying your products or services. So select new here, and then the year as I'm filming this video is 2023. Just like in Salesforce, we have this close date, and close date is used to represent when you believe the deal is going to officially be closed and you're going to win this company's business. Entering correct close dates can be really important for your team to be able to understand how much deals and how much money is in your sales pipeline for this month, for next month, for the year, next year, so you can accurately forecast for your business. So for this example, we're actually going to close this deal today. So I'm actually just going to select July 6th, which is today. And then again, just like we saw on contacts, that account lead source is pulling over from the account. And I've set up the relationship between the different databases this way, just like Salesforce does, to make it so that you don't have to do double data entry and that your data is accurate as possible. We can see that the Meta account is tied here on this opportunity. Let's go ahead and add Mark Zuckerberg as well. So now that we have a deal within our CRM, we actually need something to sell. So I'm gonna exit out of this view and let's click into products. Here you can see my list of products and services. You can see the products are some of the Notion templates that I sell, and then this service is for some of the consulting that I do for Salesforce. Let's create a new product to represent this CRM. So I'm going to select new, and then we're going to replace new product with OptiOpp CRM. For this example, let's give it a price of $100. For the type, it's a product, and this is a product that I'm actively selling. So we're going to select active, and then we're going to give the activated date of today. If you were ever to change the price of this product, then what you would do is you would deactivate this product and create a new one, and then make sure you enter a deactivated date here. This allows you to see the closing rates of the different prices that you're selling products, or also just be able to store the sales of some products you're no longer selling. Now that we've created the product, let's go back to that opportunity that we were working in. And you can easily access that opportunity by scrolling down, and I've created some views on this dashboard. So here we have our accounts, opportunities, and contacts, and these are just some simple views, but let's click into this Meta opportunity and let's put it at center peak, and then let's scroll down and we're going to create a new related opportunity product. Select, continue, and here's where you're going to add that new CRM that we just created. So we're going to select the OptiOpp CRM, and you can see once we've selected it, it automatically inputs the price onto this opportunity product. And then here we have the product price and the opportunity price. These fields are present for you to be able to track how much you are giving discounts or upselling some of your customers. So let's say for this example that Meta went ahead and worked us down to $90. You can automatically see that we have this discount amount of $10. And then looking over here on the opportunity, you can see that that amount is automatically being pulled and that that deal, as it currently stands, is worth $90 to our business. Now let's go back to the opportunity, and I want to show you this field called stage. Just like in Salesforce, stages are used to walk your sales team through the sales process. So I've entered some basic stages here: prospecting, discovery, proposal, negotiation, close won, and close lost. And as your team is working with businesses, they would enter in exactly which stage they're in on the deal. So overall, your team can gain an understanding of how close you are to securing revenue. So let's skip all the boring stuff, and let's just say that Mark Zuckerberg is interested in the deal. They've signed a contract and they are officially a customer of ours. Let's move the deal to closed won. And then you can see here in this view, you can see how much opportunities you've won this month. So we've secured $90 in the month of July so far. But you can't simply just win a deal and do nothing. We need to onboard Meta. So let's go down and we're going to create a new related task. Press continue, and let's just name this onboarding tasks. Going to give it to myself. Then let's make the due date 1 week from today. Priority is going to be high because we really want to make sure that they're a happy customer. And then let's say I've taken care of a few of the things related to the onboarding process. So let's move this to in progress. Here we can also relate it to the Meta account. And then let's also add Mark Zuckerberg as our contact that we need to reach out to complete these onboarding steps. Now let's say that we are taking care of one of our onboarding steps and we found out a really crucial piece of information that we want to make sure other team members are aware of for this account. Let's add a new note. So click new related note, and then let's say this is titled onboarding call, and then the date. And let's enter in here that Mark really likes this CRM and wants more products. Now that we've added that note, one thing that we forgot to do is actually go back to Meta and change them to be a customer. So now we're going to change that relationship from prospect to customer. And you can see that they've now pulled up on our customer view. Scrolling down, you can see our related opportunities. And if we scroll right, You can see we have that closed won opportunity here. We have Mark Zuckerberg. You can see that he's the CEO, and you'd easily be able to access all the other contacts related with Meta here. We have that related task that's in progress for onboarding. And then we also have this related notes. So this just gives your team a really easy way to be able to track and work together. One reason people love Salesforce so much is the reporting capabilities. And while we can't create all of those fancy charts here in Notion without using some external tools or complex formulas, we can create different database views. So what I've done with this CRM is created a lot of reporting views that are similar to what I've seen from clients over the years working in Salesforce. So for example, here on contacts, we have prospects, customers, former customers, missing account. So you can quickly click in here and you can see who are your prospects, who are your customers, former customers. And the same thing goes for all the other databases. Here on accounts, we can see our customers, prospects, partners, former customers, and then some views to make sure that you're keeping your data clean. And on opportunities, you can see all of your opportunities in one view. You can see the ones that are open, and open means that they're not closed won or you've lost the deal. You can see your total amount won, lost, open this month, won this year, and so on. And then here, using the databases, you can calculate the sums and other fields that might be important for you. That's it for my quick walkthrough of the CRM. If you'd like to use it yourself, you can find a link below in the description of this video. Don't hesitate to drop a comment below if you have any questions on anything I walk through in this video. And it would mean a lot if you could like and subscribe so I can continue building Notion templates just like this. Thanks, and see you next time.